Hey guys, Inferno here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome laser vision or heat vision that's commonly used by Superman and Homelander. Uh, I figured I'd make a tutorial about this because I needed to learn how to make a laser vision a few days ago for one of my alien projects that I was working on, and I couldn't find a decent tutorial on how to get it done. And then after a lot of trial and error and a lot of looking around, I figured out how to make a proper laser vision. And yeah, then I figured I'd make a tutorial about it and let you guys know how to do it if you want to. And yeah, if you're here watching this video right now, then you need to learn how to make heat vision, and that's what I'm going to show you. So yeah, let me show you how to do it, guys. So yeah, first things first, we're going to launch our Unreal Engine. I'm using Unreal Engine 5.4. And then when the engine launches, we're going to go to Games, choose the third person template, and also take the starter content. And I'm just going to name this Laser whatever, Laser Vision. And yeah, create project. And with that, we are now inside our third person template. I have the content browser docked on my layout, and yeah, we can move around, we can do all the normal third person stuff. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just gonna prepare for our project. So I'm gonna create a new folder and I'm naming it Niagara because that's where we're gonna create our laser beam. And I'm also just going to prepare some things in advance, like our trigger, our keybind for firing the laser. So I'm gonna go to input and then I'm gonna right click, create an input action, and I'm gonna name this IA laser for input action laser. And we just need to make sure that the trigger, like there are no triggers. That's what we need to make sure that there are no triggers. And yeah, and after that that's done, we close out of our input action. Now, if I rushed that by any chance, we're going to content and then we're going to our third person character input, and inside input there's actions, and that's why we're making our IA laser. Now after this we go back to input, we're gonna go to IMC default, which is input mapping context default, and we're gonna add a keybind for our IA laser. So IA laser, we're gonna select that and we're gonna drop down and we're gonna assign our left mouse button as the keybind, and that's done. So yeah, now we have our input set up for when we make our laser. Now we're gonna go to the Niagara folder, we're gonna make our laser. So right click, choose Niagara system, and then select the static beam template and choose create. And I'm gonna name this NS laser for our laser beam. And yeah, just double click to open it, and we're gonna now set up our laser. So the first thing I'm gonna do, yeah, dock it up there. First thing, dock it up there, pause it, and then I'm just gonna change the FPS to 60 just because I don't want my laptop to crash. And yeah, now let's get to work. So first thing I'm gonna do is rename it. So I'm gonna rename this emitter. I'm gonna name it laser. And once that is done, I'm going to fix some issues with this emitter so it lets us compile. So first we're gonna move over to initialize particle. I'm going to choose the first fix issue option, which is gonna replace the current initialized particle with the recommended node by Unreal Engine. And then we move to beam emitter setup and upgrade to the newest version. And that pretty much takes care of our laser emitter. We don't need to fix any more issues. After this, we go to emitter state and we change the loop duration to 0.1. And then we go to initialize particle, change the lifetime there to 0.1 as well. And yeah, we don't need to click fix issue here. We can leave it as it is. After that, we go to spawn burst instantaneous and make the spawn count 10. And then I'm going to go to particle update and write down update beam. because that update beam node is going to help us communicate with the blueprint about updating the location of our beam. Update beam selected, we're going to create a user exposed variable, and we're going to type down vector. We're going to choose vector, and then I'm going to name it to location, as it's going to be our beam location. And yeah, and then I'm going to initialize particle and changing the color to red-ish and making the brightness to 40 to really make it bright, and just hit OK. And yeah, compile and save. And now that we have assigned a new color, we're gonna go towards the bottom and untick the existing color. And after that, I'm going to select beam width and delete that. Hit the plus in particle spawn, type down beam width and add my own. And I'm just gonna put the value to 2. Put the value to 2. And then in the beam emitter setup, put the beam end x-axis value to 1000 just so you can see the beam in the preview. Now to complete our laser beam setup with beam emitter setup selected, I'm going to drag the location variable that we created to the beam end. And after that, make sure to check absolute beam end. Hit compile and save. And with that, our laser beam is actually ready. And now I'm going to get out of the Niagara system and go to our third person character blueprint, which is going to be in content, third person character, and inside blueprint. And then we go to the event graph and we call our input action laser, because that's the input action that we're gonna use to fire our laser beam. So after expanding the input action, we're gonna drag from started and right click, and yeah, set timer by event. We're gonna select that, and from the event we're gonna drag again and type down add custom event, and I'm just gonna place it right below our enhanced input action node. And then I'm gonna go to time and make that 0.01 and click looping. And yeah, we're gonna drag the return value, promote that to a variable, and we're gonna rename this variable to laser timer reference. So laser timer, laser fire ref. Yeah, we're gonna go with laser fire ref. We're gonna get the laser fire ref, drag it onto the graph, and from there pull the node and type down and select clear and invalidate timer by handle and plug that in with completed. That way when we press our left mouse button, an event is gonna start, and when that's completed, the event is gonna end. Now I'm gonna create a new function here to create our fire logic, and I'm gonna name this function fire laser function and compile and save. And yeah, now I go back to the event graph, I drag from the custom event, and I'm gonna call that fire laser function. Now we double click and open the fire laser function, and then I'm going to drag the follow camera, because that's where we're gonna draw our line trace from. And then I'm gonna get the world location of that follow camera and the world rotation of that follow camera as well. So we are just in the process of doing that. I'm dragging it and then I'm typing down get world rotation, and to get the rotation of the camera we need to get forward vector. And then yeah, I'm gonna drag from the return value of our get world rotation, and I'm gonna promote that to a local variable. I'm promoting it to a local variable because we only need this variable inside this function. So I'm gonna give this local variable a new name, and we're going to call this local cam location. Yeah, local cam location. And now I'm dragging this local cam location, getting it, and then I'm gonna drag from the local variable, and I'm gonna select line trace by channel, which is gonna create our line trace, and then I'm gonna split the out hit. I'm gonna connect the local cam location to the start node, and then from our forward vector, I'm gonna create like attach an operator, the multiply operator, and then from there I'm gonna drag and attach the add operator. And now we're gonna do some math to get the world rotation of our camera. So I'm gonna grab the local cam location, I'm gonna add it to our add pin, and then I'm gonna create a new variable which is going to be distance. Distance is gonna imply how far our laser is gonna travel. So I'm gonna call this laser distance. I'm gonna change that to a float, compile, and then I'm gonna drag it, and then I'm gonna plug that in to our multiply node. And when that is done, I'm going to drag this from the add pin and connect it to the end pin on our line trace by channel, and then I'm gonna activate the debug function just to see if it's all working. And I'm gonna select the trace channel to camera and then compile and save. And yeah, almost forgot, we need to assign a distance. So I'm gonna assign the value of 10,000 to our laser distance, and now we're gonna see if it's working. And we can see when we click the left mouse button, we are drawing line traces that are coming from our camera. So yeah, our line trace, it's working. And now I'm just going to remove that debug so we don't see the line traces anymore, because we don't want to see it now that we know it's working. And yeah, now let's keep going. I'm gonna drag from this node and then create a branch. For the condition, I'm gonna plug in the return value, and then from the true, we are going to get a sequence, and then we're gonna add 2 more pins because we need 4 pins in total. And then from the first pin, we're gonna drag in, and then we're gonna type in do once. We're gonna select the do once node here, and from the do once node, we're gonna drag in, and we are going to select spawn system attached. And now we're gonna just adjust the positions and duplicate the whole thing down here and connect it to the second pin. And now over here to the template, we're gonna select our NS laser, which is the Niagara system we created, our laser. And then we're gonna compile that. And now to the viewport with the mesh selected, we're gonna add 2 arrows to our mesh. These arrows are going to dictate where our lasers are gonna start from when we fire that, like, you know. So yeah, now to attach these arrows to our character, we're gonna go to the skeletal mesh of our character. We're gonna open the skeleton, and then we're gonna look for the head bone. So you can either scroll down like this until you get to the head, or you can just simply type in head on the search bar. So once you're there, right click and add 2 sockets. Like, I'm not even gonna bother naming them, but you can name them if you want. I'm just gonna add 2 sockets, and that's it. We're gonna close out of there, and I forgot to save, but you should always save. Yeah, and I'm just gonna make this animation blueprint to none, just so my character doesn't move around. I'm gonna adjust the camera speed to my comfort, and now we're going to just place these arrows on our character, because yeah, these arrows are going to dictate where we're gonna fire from, like where our lasers are gonna fire from. So I chose arrow 2, and then I parented it to a socket, which is our head socket. And now I'm going to adjust the position to my liking. So I'm gonna rotate these 90 degrees. Rotated it 90 degrees, and then I'm just gonna adjust it to where the eye is gonna be. Might lower it a bit. There we go. I'm pretty happy with it. And now we're gonna do the same thing with the other arrow. So choose the arrow, parent socket, select the other head socket, and then, you know, rotate it, drag it up and down sideways till you get the position of your liking. So yeah, we're just doing that. A bit higher, and there we go. Pretty happy with it. So now we have our arrows that are going to fire our lasers. Almost there, guys. And yeah, now we go to our fire laser function. We drag our arrows from there. We drag it, and we plug it into the attach to component. And location tab, we're gonna select the third one, snap to target, keep world scale, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side as well. Drag the other arrow, plug that into the attach to component, and make the same changes that we made. And yeah, now we're gonna drag the return value and promote that to a variable, a proper variable this time, not a local variable. We're gonna name this laser system 1, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Drag from there and promote that to a variable, and just gonna name this laser system 2. Yeah, I know I'm kind of slow. So yeah, laser system 2. Now that we have that, I'm just gonna make some more room in the middle. Making some more room in the middle, and then compile and save, just in case Unreal Engine decides to crash. And then we're gonna drag and select the isValid node, and we're gonna duplicate that, plug that into the other pin, and then we are just going to drag the variables that we created. So laser system 1 and 2, get them, place them on the graph, placing them on the graph. Do not select set, whereas we are using get. Yeah, so get laser system 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna drag from them, and then we're gonna write down set vector parameter, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So from layer system 2, we're gonna write down set vector parameter, and we're gonna plug the pins to the isValid. So on both sides, we're plugging in isValid to the pins. And then for the parameter name, we're gonna write down the variable that we created in our Niagara system, which was location. So make sure the spelling is the same. And once that is done, we're gonna go all the way here, and from the out hit location, we're gonna drag the pin from the out hit location and plug that into the parameter for both of them. And compile and save. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to plug the laser system to the input object for both of them. So plug the laser system to the input object. And then yeah, compile and save again. And that should be it. That should be all done. Now we can fire our laser. Ooh, except that's too many of them. and I know what's happening. We just need to go to our Niagara system, go to emitter state, and make the loop behavior to once. And save, compile and save. And yeah, I'm just gonna adjust the camera as well, just so we can see the laser better. So I'm just going to offset the camera socket a bit. I'm just gonna adjust the camera itself as well, just so we can see the beautiful laser in its proper glory. And there we have it, guys. Our laser is now working. Yeah, now that looks very bland, so we're gonna attach some particles to it. So right click, add emitter, write down fountain, and select the fountain template. And once we have the fountain template, we're going to initialize particle. I'm just going to change the lifetime, giving it minimum value of 0.4 and maximum value of 0.6. I'm going to select the color, change it to brighter red-ish, make the brightness 50, and then we're going to spawn rate. I'm gonna make this 40, compile, and then I'm going to properties. I'm gonna change this to a GPU sim from CPU sim, and yeah, we can see the particles that are going to end up at the end of our laser. And then I'm just gonna select this position mode and make it direct set. Assign the location variable to this position by dragging it, and then compile and save. And yeah, looks like we need to go to emitter state as well and make that loop behavior once and the loop duration to 0.5. Yeah, 0.5. And I'm gonna decrease the spawn rate to 10. And that should be it. Now if we fire, we can see this particle spawning at the end of our laser, which really makes it look way better in my opinion. Now yeah, at the towards the laser's end, it's still feeling quite empty, so we're gonna add an explosion effect to that. So we're gonna select the omnidirectional explosion template for it, and then we're gonna go to initialize particle. We're gonna change that to a direct set, and we're gonna make the lifetime 1 second, leave it as it is. We're gonna go to emitter state, make the loop duration to 0.1 seconds, and then spawn burst instantaneous, make the spawn count to 15. Go back to initialize particle, and we're gonna make the sprite size 20 for the minimum and 40 for the maximum. And then we're gonna hit compile and save, go to sprite renderer, and here this is why we needed our starter content. We're gonna select the explosion material, and down here we're gonna select the image size to 6x6 because that is the size of the image, the explosion material. So we're gonna select that, and then we're gonna go to particle update. We're gonna type down sub UV animation, and then in the animation we're not gonna fix any of the issues because we don't need to. We just need to make the end frame result to 35, resolution to 35, and we're gonna hit compile, and then we just need to add a camera offset as well so that it's always facing the camera, the explosion. And we're gonna assign a value of 70. That's under particle spawn, by the way. And then in initialize particle, I'm just gonna decrease the lifetime to 0.5 seconds, just so it's not staying there for too long. And yeah, lastly, make the position mode to direct set and drag the location variable to the position. and compile and save, and now our laser is pretty much complete. And see, that looks so good, that looks so much better. Oh god. And yeah, we're missing some audio, but before that I'm just gonna make it look even better. I'm gonna make the spawn count to 3 just because I feel like the explosion at the end of the laser was too bright and too big. And yeah, that's like much more proper. Much more proper. Okay. And yeah, now we're gonna add some audio movement to it. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna select our character mesh, we're gonna click add and add an audio component. And once we have that, we're gonna drag that audio and we're gonna drag from it and choose the set active node. We're gonna plug that in, connect it, and we're gonna set that to true. So when we left click our mouse, the audio is gonna be set to true, so it's gonna play. And then we're gonna get the set active node again, and this time we're gonna set it to false. So when we let go of our mouse, it's gonna stop playing. And now I'm gonna choose the audio file for it, which comes with the starter content, and that's fire. And yeah, now I'm gonna play it, and as you can see, when we fire our laser, it plays the audio. Now make sure that down here the auto active is deactivated, the auto activate. So now when we fire our laser, as you can see, there's an audio playing with the laser. Now you can of course choose your own sound effect. Now there's one last issue that we need to fix. Currently our character can fire laser from the back of its head, and we don't want that. And there's a very quick and easy fix to that. So we're gonna go to the viewport, and I need the character rotation. So yeah, not the mesh. I need the character movement, and from here we're gonna go to rotation. And now we're gonna take both of the rotation types. So as you can see, there's two of them: orient rotation and controller desired rotation. We're gonna take both of them. Now, if you have both of them selected, by default, it's gonna prioritize the orient rotation to movement. And yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here and we're gonna make it so that when we are left clicking, our orient rotation is deactivated, like our orient rotation to movement, that's deactivated. So we're gonna drag the character movement, and then we're gonna set orient rotation to movement from there. Plug that in, and we're gonna leave it as false. I'm gonna duplicate this, and so when we let go of our mouse button, we're gonna set the orient rotation to movement to true. And that is it. That's the complete laser. Now, as you can see, when we fire our laser, our character is always looking at the laser to make sure that the laser is indeed coming out of our eye sockets and not the back of our head. And when you let go of the laser, you can move around freely as normal. And yeah, that is the tutorial, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it helped. And yeah, if it helped you out, then do consider liking and subscribing. It would be very motivating, and I look forward to making more Unreal Engine content in the future as well. I hope you guys have a great day, guys. And yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts and anything. And with that said, I will see you in the next video.